Hello, everybody. It is your boy Sign Mountain, aka David Soto. Welcome to the Colorado Modular Synth Society Key Challenge. I have some special guests here, some folks helping me out, co-hosting today. Let's go ahead and go around robin. Christoph, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell everybody who you are, what you're doing, why you're here.
All right. Why I'm here, I don't know, but we'll figure that out. My name is Christoph Scholtes. I'm an artist goes by the name of Monoscene. I help out David with the Colorado Modular Synth Society.
Right on.
Right.
And there we go. POB.
POB, Patrick O'Brien. I'm in Washington, D.C., and I run the Modular on the Mall shows here. We just kicking that off for this season. We put the dates out yesterday, and it's a lot of fun. So, but David, I'm always happy to be here hosting with you. So
Yeah.
I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, totally. It's been so super cool. Folks who've watched these live streams before, I've seen Christoph quite a few times, and now he's back. So that's awesome. The Christoph fan club is very excited. I've heard them.
Two people,
all two of them.
me and somebody else.
The mirror.
David.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, that's not go on record. And then it's also awesome, to have POB back. And you guys have watched, I think, all the challenges you've been here. So it's been so cool. And I'm super excited. We'll talk more about Modular on the Mall and what's going on in the East Coast and DC area, and other updates too going on here in the modular community. But today's whole big show is about the key challenge. So if you're just tuning in and you don't know what we're talking about, we had a open submission for this show. You go and you pick a random key. We found a random key generator you could use, or any other way you want to find a random key, and you try to make a 3-minute patch based on that random key or scale. And so that's kind of that's the gist of the idea of these shows. So we have 15 entries into this one. We're going to show all of them, and we'll talk about the keys that they had, and then kind of like talk a little bit about the patches, and also just kind of have a general conversation about using music theory in modular synth music. What people are doing and stuff like that. So thanks everybody for tuning in and joining. This is going to be a pretty sweet show for sure. Thanks HR Terror for hooking us up with it.
Yeah, nice.
That's rad. Yeah,
Awesome.
Super rad. Before we begin, any initial thoughts, any ideas? What do you guys think about the challenges? Coming into this show.
Well, I mean, I thought that I was curious to hear as we were reviewing some of them how they would incorporate the scales, because I feel like we all have some sort of a scale that we play with, but to see how we build in these, like if someone says Phrygian, like one of ours, like how is that built in? Like how are we going to identify it as, the focus is the scale? And I think a lot of them really showcase that more than just like, oh, here's a scale, I'm just going to play. Mm-hmm. But there was like intention to really to bring out that specific scale, which I really have an appreciation for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Some of the things that I like was the how adventurous people get with scales. Mm-hmm. You can be one of the more traditional scales or pentatonic, safer scales that sound safer, but then there's these scales that are completely out there on microtonal stuff. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, even the quote unquote safe scales, like the compositions are still kind of experimental, kind of modular, which is pretty cool too. So we got some pretty cool videos. So I definitely want everybody to check these out. So let's hop into it. So who do we have first?
We have Michael Furtak is first, and then we'll play Kako Guzman's after that.
Yeah, so we'll play 2 videos and then talk about them and rinse and repeat. All right, here we go. Here's our first key challenge video from Michael. Here we go. All right, all right. Those are our
Woo.
first two right off the bat. Two different styles, two different approaches. It's great. I love it.
That was
Yeah,
wild.
Michael's. I'll mention the scales before we do them, so people have an idea.
Got
So
it.
Michael's was the Japanese pentatonic G sharp scale, and Kako's was E chromatic. So yeah, going back to Michael's, the Spring Storm ambient. It kind of felt generative at some of those moments in there too. I really liked that part. Um, yeah, the overlay with the cold suddenly made me feel like I was going to put
Totally.
my hoodie on.
Happy spring.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, no, that was cool.
I love the guitar tone.
Yeah.
That was really it didn't HR Terra says in the chat it didn't really sound like a guitar, and I agree. It was really cool how he used the whammy bar to slide into the notes. Really kind of fusion jazzy. That was really, really good.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah.
Yeah, I was torn between like it's melodic is at random, and they kind of like get a cool beat kicking in, and uh, yeah, it was great. You could really hear the chromatic part of the
Hmm.
scale there.
Yeah, the super cool, awesome. Those are our first two of the key challenge. Let me just let everybody know who else is all playing here. I have a slide here to show everybody. Yeah, there's all the artists here. We will of course keep update the description section of the video and have some time code on there if you missed any of that. But that's also the play order. Amazing. I love it. And I mean, this is the thing I love about all these challenges. It's just all different approaches to it for sure. Definitely. It's so cool. Not only like just like the sound, but also the way it's shot is always interesting. It's kind of far out how people get into it, and you know, it's fun, very fun to check out. I'm super excited to share today.
Yeah, I've seen Kaka's set up quite a bit now, and it's with the two screens that always show like
Yeah,
galaxies
Mhm.
and something like that. It's really
yeah, totally,
it's so cool to take you into a different place.
totally, yeah, yeah. Sweet. Okay, so let's keep the party going. Um,
Okay, next we got Stoke or Five Talk 3. D melodic minor is the scale, and then Darren D Chase with an F sharp 8-tone Spanish
wow, far out.
scale.
All right, here we go. Start with that. Stoked. Cool. All right. I don't know about you, but those two tracks were giving me orbital vibes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, wait
they're
a
so
minute.
different.
Yeah,
The
totally.
the first one had a really nice build up. I love that build up. But the second
Yeah.
one, the scale, I gotta check out that scale. That's 8-tone Spanish. Sounded really nice.
Yeah, like the Stokes, where it's like that you can like hear the scale going up, and then you hear scale going down, and it just
Mhm.
starts getting gritty and jamming. Like, release the track. I want it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, keep that track going.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. Also, I was kind of staring at all the gear there, and I'm like, I think I counted 3 sequencers at least in that 9U. So I was like, what is going on in there? No, they both sounded really amazing. Really driving interesting tracks for sure.
Yeah, those went really well together.
Yeah, really dug it. Really dug it. Yeah. Just so people know how we like kind of organize these. Uh, I grouped everybody by the time zone they're in, and then I put them together. And that's about it. The rest was just like whatever random uh, Google sheet order it put it in. So it would, of course, you gotta have a little random in a modular show, right? So that's kind of it. So yeah, but yeah, sometimes these things kind of, well, I think they always kind of work together in interesting ways. Either like they work together in the sense that they have like a similar vibe, or they the dissonance between the two of them is cool, which is like added to the whole key thing. So it's great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, totally. Uh,
Cool. So up next we have Mason with a C altered scale, and Stephanie Vasco doing some VCV rack in the key of F.
okay, so we got Mason and Stephanie. Let's load those up real quick.
Yep.
Cool. All right, here we go. Right on. So let's get this started with Mason. Here we are. Right. Awesome. Nice. More on the experimental side. That set. Cool.
I kept watching the little balls floating around, and
Totally.
then you hear the slewing of the drone. And yeah, it just kind of
So
locked
good.
me in.
Yeah, the
Really
first time
well
those
done.
hands popped in, I was like, whoa, 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 what's going on here? That's cool.
What you call? Oh, ghost invasion of fingers.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Fat fingers. Got it. Got it. Awesome. Yeah, rad. And then awesome to see Mason do another challenge with us. It's so cool.
Yeah, that sounded really, really nice. The Mason,
Yeah, that's so
The
cool.
Mason sounds really awesome.
Yeah. Thanks, Unit E, who just also just gave us some extra.
Stephanie's had quite a bit of randomness in there too,
Uh huh.
like in the patch, just from looking at the modules that she used. So that's pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and some folks might not know that we're like VCV is totally uh you could add VCV patches to these challenges too. So it's always cool to see VCV in the mix for sure. That was cool stuff.
Yeah.
Uh, it's funny because just thinking about the scales and stuff like that. We were talking earlier before the show started about how much we were using it at the beginning of getting into modular. So I think it'd be kind of interesting that let people know what, like Patrick, like when you first started to start patching up your modular system at the beginning of getting into it, were you trying to make it like musical? Were you thinking about replicating, like, hey, I'm gonna do something, uh, you know,
Yeah, I mean, one of the first modules I got was that large 84 HP Sputnik modular keyboard that does the
mm-hmm,
arpeggiation.
mm-hmm,
And, but I now I can hear like if something's E flat versus E, or if there's something warm about doing the black keys versus white keys. But when it come to playing, I didn't play in E flat to E flat on the scales. It was always just everything's in the key of C and adjusting it that way, so I didn't have to think too hard about it. So I would always just tune everything down and just make that as my reference. The C note is always my reference on the Sputnik, just because I'm just more familiar with it as you're doing a lot of arpeggiation and doing like really weird key signatures and scales and that. So that's really kind of what I stuck with. Um, the Vox Digitalis has a little key with, like, if you're doing an arpeggiation, it has the actual note. So if I need to know the actual note, I can look at that and see it. And like, oh, I'm always playing in like C minor or whatever, but it's actually in the key of F. So but that's otherwise. I just think everything's in C, even though it's not.
yeah. And what about you, Christoph? Were you concerned about scales and stuff like that when you were getting into modular music?
Initially, no. It was more about sound for me rather than creating different sounds rather than different scales. But then and harmony, like chord progressions and things like that, even less than that. I started doing scales when I got really into VCV Rack. They have a module, um VCV scalar. It's a four times quantizer, and it can load Scala files. And then I found this website, and we can post a link in the chat. That the Scala is an application that lets you create these files for different scales. And there's a repository of 5,000 scales, 5,000 Scala files that you can download for free, and then they can load into this quantizer in VCV Rack. And that's when I got into these really weird sounding scales where I really didn't know what was going on, but it sounded great. I still didn't put it into some kind of I just played the scale, but didn't put it into some kind of an harmonic context with chords and things like that. But just playing even random notes from that scale, and then usually I would put it into reverb, so I got kind of that the notes created some kind of a chord like thing in the background. That's kind of my extent of scales so far.
Yeah.
I'm getting more into the more, harmonic progressions and things like that, and then how different notes will create different atmospheres now. But in the beginning, I wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I it's funny. I think I took like 4 years of choir, but that's like the most amount of like music theory I had, which wasn't a ton. I didn't pay attention too much to that, but yeah, I didn't know what was going on, and I definitely didn't. I didn't even know I could even do it. And then I remember seeing a quantizer for the first time and going, "Oh well, that seems like a good solution for a person like me who doesn't know what's going on." And then the Ornaments and Crime came out. It didn't come out, but I mean, it was around, and I used that for a quantizer, sort of. But I didn't pay attention to it. In fact, I was remember talking to a lot of folks in the scene at the beginning who were like, "I'm trying to untrain my brain about this stuff and just make have be more exploratory." And I'm like, I don't even. I'm starting at that exploratory spot now. I'm more interested in, or becoming more interested in like music theory and to a certain degree. But yeah, it's kind of interesting how that starts and changes for
What
sure.
part did you sing in choir?
I was what's the step above bass? Oh my gosh, why can't I think of it?
Baritone? Is that it?
Yeah, baritone. Yeah,
Yeah. There's...
yeah. Like choir teachers, like, what are you talking about? I don't remember these stuff. Uh, no, I didn't. Yeah, I think I learned enough to like sing, but I think at the same time, to be honest, I probably was just listening to other people and going, I'll just follow them, you know. But uh, but anyhow, let's not talk about my grades. Yeah,
Thank you,
sweet.
I was
Tyler
always the guy.
Snow, for the support.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks everybody. I
That's great.
appreciate that. That's awesome. Yeah, there's a couple different ways you can support the show. You can donate. We have uh, albums on Bandcamp and stickers you can buy from our website. And on our website, you can also use the affiliate code if you want to buy something from Perfect Circuit. We have an affiliation there. And honest, and just a real quick update for anybody who watched the last show, Drones for Peace, which was amazing. The first volume is out of that music from that show, and the second volume will be out at the end of this month. The first volume we raised over $500 in donations that we gave to Project Cure, which sends medical equipment to help the humanitarian relief in the Ukraine. So yeah, lots of different ways. So I appreciate this support. You being here is like tons of support. Honestly, that's just super rad. Joining the Discord and having conversations with people is another great way to support and keep this volunteer effort going. And then sending in your tracks, so is always really fun. We'll do more challenges and we'll have some ideas on what we were thinking for next challenges soon. But yeah, thanks everybody so much. Sweet. Let's keep it going. Let's
All right.
what keys and people do we have next?
So we have Patrick Bartmus, who is doing C sharp. C sharp major, I guess. And Jinx HQ with a G sharp minor melodic.
Nice. Now, does anybody know that did those two keys are they friends? Are they not friends? I gotta look at them. Or no, I don't know. I have no idea.
They're sharp.
They're both sharp.
They're both sharp. Is that a good thing? I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's such a good thing, but like I don't know.
We'll see.
Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. Sharp. First, that's a bad joke. All right, they might kick me off the show, my own show. All right, here we go. Right on. So yeah, that was awesome. Super great. Love that.
Yeah, like almost felt very spiritual with Jinx HQ at the end.
Mm.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
loved how we walked through that whole scale.
He has such a great aesthetic. Like every single video that he does, or every show that he does, there's such a great natural organic feel to his stuff. And it's interesting that it we had a well, Stoke had a melodic minor too,
Oh yeah.
yet it was so different, right? Not only the actual key, but the the use of the scale was so different. I thought it was really cool.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
Uh,
Patrick's was great.
yeah, I love it. It's great. I like how he's pointing to everything and showing us everything. It's like signal flow. I like that touch actually. That was really cool. Yeah.
And they did sound great together. Like Patrick mentioned in the comments, they do sound nice together.
Yeah. Yeah.
C sharp and G sharp, go on a
Yeah.
date.
Totally. Yeah. I guess like yeah. Bonus challenge if you want to take all the keys here and make one track with all the keys. Just joking. That would be. Let's see which
Anton pointed out that they're a fifth apart, so they're neighbors on this circle of fifth. So
circle of fifths. There it is. Yeah. Some folks might have saw the flyer for this. That I had the circle of fifths module. Um, that I sort of dreamt up. Uh, for the flyer. Um, and honestly, like I think I've looked at the circle of fifths like so much when I first started to get into wanting to learn more about music, and I have to be honest, I still don't get it. I've like watched so many. I'm like, I think I get it. I know I don't get it. I don't get it. So I think that's why I was like, it'd be cool if there was a module that did it because I feel like I learned so much about music theory or just or any like whatever, like scales, anything like that, because the modules that I get or the features in it. I'm like, polyrhythms or something like that. I would learn about that through a module. Like, oh, okay, or Euclidean rhythm. I had no idea what that was, and I have to admit, like, but then once I had that in a module, I could see it and hear it and manipulate it and then figure it out. So, maybe that's why I would wish a circle of fifths module existed, like fit, like I can see do its thing, and then I could get it. So for nothing else, I want that module to exist so I can just be more educated. If that's ever a reason to build something.
we'll get on that right away.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, what's going on? Come on, NASA. What are they doing?
Although oftentimes, like I'll take the chord module from Qubit, and
Mhm.
you can parse out the four steps in the chord, and so many times I'll just pull out the root and the fifth, and I'll just play those just throughout a
Hmm.
scale just to keep them. It's like it can never do me wrong, just the way that it flows throughout.
Mhm.
No matter what other type of sequence I put into it, it's just nice to have that always, just having that subharmonic or just have that secondary harmonic to go with it all the time.
Just power chords.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that kind of stuff is super interesting, and yeah, and the chords modules is great for that. The new V2 for sure. Um, for being
Hmm.
able to kind of break that out, and I also have I'm like looking around for it, I've lost the spherical navigator wavetable,
Hmm.
spherical wavetable navigator, which you can also see your uh, the scale that you're kind of in, or at least the keys that you have selected, which is also super helpful to kind of learn more about that.
That's right. I have the SMR. That's actually another way that I actually use the scales. Now that I think about it, because you can set the SMR, which is very similar to the Navigator 4MS module. You can set it to different scales, and then when you pull the faders up, you get different chord-like things
Hmm.
or sequences when you ping it.
Right. Yeah. And I don't know if this is exactly the same thing, but similar. The verbose harmonic oscillator was like one of those things that I felt like you can kind of take things in and out and kind of create some, you can kind of learn a little bit about like you know, a chord or something.
Mhm.
That's how I kind of remember playing with it. It felt that way. I love that when you can kind of see it and feel it, because I think a lot of us are so wanting to get tactile with the instruments, and that's a great way of learning about chords and stuff like that by being able to patch it up and mess around with it.
That's the closest, like the SMR is the closest to a keyboard that I've ever came on a modular.
For
Right,
you?
using the fader is like
Oh,
you would
okay.
use the keys on a keyboard to fade in and do different things with it.
Yeah, that's a and they're very similar to the SWN and the
Hmm.
SMR as far as like the layout on that as well. Did you ever have a chords module? Did you ever? I know like when I first started, people had like one thing that was kind of popular was like the musical thing chords. Did you ever have that? Anybody? No. You guys?
No, I've had the chords.
Which one?
Yeah.
The,
Uh,
the,
musical. Yeah, they had one that was. It looked just like the regular musical thing, but it was. They had
you
like
mean the chord organ, the music thing modular?
yeah, the chord
Yeah, yeah.
organ.
I think that's an alternative firmware to the radio music.
Yeah,
You can just load that in. I've never tried that.
yeah. I mean, I feel like that was the old way of doing it. Like you would just have those things like pre set up.
Yeah.
and then, and then I mean, or the SQ1 has that too, right? It has a quantizer built in as well. I mean, that's kind of how it kept some things, somewhat musical back in the beginning, for sure. But
Yeah, I have the chord in my patch for this show later on, but I'm definitely not using it for chords.
yeah,
No.
yeah, yeah. That's funny. Okay, cool. Let's see. What do we have next?
Next, we have Wolfellow with a B major chord. Or chord, we'll talk about chords. B major scale.
Yeah,
And Alien Brunch with a Phrygian D flat.
yeah. Whenever I heard the word Phrygian, I just think of frigid, and then I associate like, oh, it's gonna be some. That's I don't know what that's about. Anyhow, okay. Uh, into
I'm
these shows.
hungry when I hear that.
I,
Fridge.
oh, fridge. Yeah, exactly. It's like word association. I'm gonna say a key, and you're gonna have a word association. um, yeah. Welcome to the psychoanalysis show, CMSS. All right, let's get back into the music, folks. Awesome. Awesome. Both very powerful, dope tracks. If you're new to watching our live stream, you can totally give claps. When it goes, all that kind of stuff. But we also do flawn, and both of those get a lot of flawn.
Flan is in.
Yeah, I also let people know that because they're like, "What's going on with all the flawn?" Cool.
Cool. I liked Alien Brunch's like made the scale melodic. Like I'm actually singing in my head now. The scale is just going up during the whole patch. I'm like, it just feels like that's like the singing part of the song. So
Mm-hmm.
just being able to build that in to where it's prominent, but it really just like felt great to hum along. You'd be in the shower and you start singing scales. My wife's like, "What's going on?" Just singing Alien Brunch.
Oh, that was really nice.
Yeah, it's kind of like an Arabic feel too, with like maybe that's the Phrygian part of it that has this classical Arabic style to it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
Yeah,
those vibes.
yeah, totally.
yeah, yeah.
I think Alien Brunch is in the chat. I want to know. So, how do people get the scales into their modular setup? Are there modules where you can load like a Scala file? I think somebody mentioned one in the chat earlier. Or is it programmed in a sequencer? How do you guys do it?
Yeah. I mean, I think there's some people that like. So you were mentioning about the Scala files. Either I know earlier there was many sequencers that now do that, which is pretty cool. I use a 512 vector sequencer, which allows you to do that as well. In fact, I feel like even don't quote me if I might be wrong on this, but I think even the O coast you can like put in quantization in there. If I remember right, I think you could do that, and I think at one point you could do Skaya if you need the codes. Um,
Cool.
and then I know other people have masked. You just use masking, as far as like this masking their notes. Yeah.
The Alien Branch says he uses a monomacria sequencer where you can program in the scale steps
Yeah,
for the
he's using the
sequencer.
mononome, so which is super versatile as far as like
Mm-hmm.
sequencing and stuff. Also pretty awesome to always see a mononome grid on there, and then a really good use of using the mixer as performance part well too. So a lot to kind of unpack on that one. I was like, there's a lot of things, really cool things going on in this patch. Nice setup for sure.
Yeah, I'm like
Tracy
yeah, I'm like Tracy. That's what I do. I hand tune the voltage.
and
Like
Tune.
yeah, like the octone I use so much from Qubit, and it has 8 that you can. I set it to chromatic, and then I can adjust those 8 pitches to fit the exact scale I want. That they have
Nice.
some that are pre-selected, but I just do the chromatic and figure it out that way.
Yeah.
Cool.
What about you? What about you, Christoph? How do you do it? How would you do it?
Um, with the sequencer, probably program the scale. Just to, know the scale and then just program the CV. But I have used 2 oscillators and then just try to tune them right. And what I like there is that you can always detune it slightly. It's not really micro attempting to be microtonal, but just if you have a root and a fifth and they're just ever so slightly detuned, that you can get some nice effects with that.
Yeah. 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 I usually would just literally look it up. That's what I used to do. Is just like look it up and then just type it in as far as okay, and then I just depending on how I sequence it, I would just randomly hit those notes on the keys. That's kind of how I used to do it. But thanks to the 512, it actually tells me what note I'm supposed to be hitting. The other thing too is I've also been using digital oscillators more, so tuning's not such a
Mm.
uh, is really an issue as much
Right.
for some of those, which is good for me to learn. Like that's what's supposed to sound like. For so long, I didn't understand the importance of tuning for that kind of stuff. So I was like, that sounds like a C minor, I guess, and it totally was not because my my oscillators were just drifting all over the place, and then of course you throw them through wave folders and you go to strange harmonics, and I'm not even near what I thought I was even near, so I wasn't really picking up on those skills and stuff. Awesome. So we got like a couple more tracks here. See, I think we got like 5 more tracks or something like that, maybe.
Mhm.
Yep. Yep.
Uh,
5.
yeah, might be a good time, real quick, Patrick, just to talk real quick. What's going on in your world? Uh,
Sure.
yeah, I know you were talking about you're able to make an announcement about the modular on the mall and put up the website.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love
yeah.
that graphic. Yeah,
Yeah.
those were all the performers from last year. Rest in peace, Patch Node there on the bottom right.
Mm.
Um, but we were really fortunate that he got to play our show last year. And I put out the announcement yesterday. So if you go to Modular on the Mall on Instagram, you can see there's 7 shows that we have. Uh, there, 4 of them are daytime show, or 4 of them are daytime. We have 2 evening sunset shows we're doing, and then the last show of the season is going to be a quadraphonic show that we're going to put inside the memorial and just do some really
Oh,
wicked
that's
stuff.
cool.
So
That's cool.
yeah, I'm all pumped up about that. So we are excited to be kicking it off, and um, it's fun. Like we're really getting a lot of people outside of DC that are interested in playing. So that's why we put the dates out super far in advance. So if anyone is traveling to the East Coast and you want to perform, just check the list on the website or on Instagram and fill out that form and let me know which date you like, and we'll get you in.
Yeah, did you hear that, Christoph? I mean, we talked about
Road
this
trip.
road trip. We talked about
Road trip.
a plan to have a van. We're supposed to. You gotta get out there for
Like
sure.
Travarsi. Travarsi was running
Oh
around the
yeah,
van with a few people. So that's
yeah.
what we got to do.
That's
It is
that van.
possible.
That yeah.
Road
I don't
trip.
know if that van's available to take us across the country, but if it is, and you're listening out there, Solar Van, um, pick us up. We'll travel. Like, you know what we should do? We should like reach out to like one of these companies that have like the Wienermobile, like hit them up. Like they would come on, like we'll drive that thing across. That's cool. We'll do like a little cross promotion. No, Christoph.
Rayonism says he has a band van.
See, look, yeah, that's awesome. So anybody heading out to the East Coast?
15 passengers.
Oh, all right, we can crowd share this
Let's
thing.
go.
That is a car.
Yeah.
That is a. The
We'll
funny thing
drive
is,
up to Fort Collins and then we'll just hit it from there.
well, first of all, hold on. That's 15 passengers after the modular gear. That probably cut down to
Okay,
like
3.
4, 3. Exactly. I'm bringing my 9U, my 6U. Yeah, that's not a lot of room. And
No,
it's
you're
gonna
going to be limited like on an airplane. You got to fit into the little thing in front of the van. If it doesn't fit in there, it doesn't go.
be
So,
yeah, the HP limit.
HP limit.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, pick us up. Let's go. We'll do it Muppet style. Just jump in the Peter Parker, sing along.
Document the whole thing,
Oh, yeah,
Oh
seriously.
yeah.
Yeah, this could be the next big thing on Netflix. Um, our show. That would be awesome.
That'd be
Yeah,
awesome.
so that's super cool. Sorry, when's the first date for that start?
The first one's June 5th on a Sunday. So they're either Sundays at noon or they're Saturdays at 7 Eastern time.
Okay,
So yeah,
sweet,
thanks.
awesome. All right, well, all right, everybody, check that out. Make a trip out there. If you're not going to perform, at least go check out a show. I mean, that venue looks amazing. I bet it's be
Yeah,
super
I
awesome.
love it.
Yeah, and then anything else going on besides that? I mean, I know you have tons of going on, but
Yeah, well, I'm hoping to go out to LA this year and play, and I want to hit up a lot of the like Philly and Boston and New York. There's all sorts of shows that are now that were streaming online. There's a lot of mots that are still a lot of mot shows are happening here on the East Coast. So I'd like to travel and at least see them or play them, and it's exciting just to see so many people just wanting to go out and play live again. So I'm
Yeah.
going to try to do that as much as I can in between what I do for noise engineering, which is also an awesome part of what I'm a part of now in my life. And so it's like all modular, all day, all night. I sleep, I dream it. You know.
Yeah.
Yes, finally.
Yeah. I get that. I get that. Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Well, I'm glad you were able to take some time and join during this show and also perform. We'll play your video a little bit later on. I know Christoph didn't want to play it; he didn't care for it, but whatever. I mean, I vetoed him on that one. So, lucky folks.
I'm always out of key.
Lucky.
It was out of key. This isn't a night. He didn't agree with the key. Okay, let's keep it going. What do we have next?
We have Trentobite with a C sharp minor blues and Ghost Kitchen with E flat diminished.
Nice. That all felt bluesy. All right, here we go. super cool. More of that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What you guys think?
I like seeing faces in video, so like kudos to Ghost Kitchen for seeing some emotion with the with the little glitch going on there. I like slow jam. I like just seeing some expression.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was, I'm really amazed how people use the scales. Some scales, when you just play a scale, you might be able to recognize it, but other scales, when you start using them in certain context, is a whole different thing. So, I really like the Trentabyte video, and Ghost Kitchen was amazing too. But like all of them are really creative in how they use the scale.
Yeah. I don't think we've had any turntablism in any of the previous
Oh, yeah,
cases. So, which is tight, I'd love to see that. And it's cool. Like it sounded like he was using the drone or the sound on the record, and then changing the pitch on that little 1U module there, which is cool. I mean, kind of remember like back in the day when I used to like DJ stuff. I used to like messing around with the speed to kind of get that woo woo. That was kind of a um. I hadn't thought about that until I watched them do that. I was like, oh yeah, that's a pretty cool effect when you're doing turntables and stuff. It's kind of neat. So yeah, there's a lot of different again this approaches in styles for sure. Those are awesome, super awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as Trentabyte started, I was like, okay, we're just there's so much like in the video itself too. It's like all this lusciousness, it was just really well set up, and then I just saw the vinyl going, and then, oh man, where are we going with this? And just like let it
Hmm.
just keep going. Like give me 10 minutes of that, because then like the sound bite, I'm like, what is that? I know it sounds so familiar, and it's like, is that Home Alone sound bite? Like, oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and I kind of got lost. I wasn't even thinking of the scale because I was so mesmerized by everything else around it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. That I'm pretty sure that was the Home Alone sample from Home Alone's
Mm.
Fallen Angels, Dirty Angels, something like that. I can't remember the name of the movie he's watching. Uh, yeah. That's a good one. Um, oh, it says Trent's from Fort Collins. Sweet. Yeah, we had a few people from here. See, we have people, a lot of East Coast people. One, two, three, four, five East Coast folks, including Canada East Coast. That's Mason. What up, Canada? And then one person from Central, and then one, two, three, four, five people from the mountains, or at least from maybe from Colorado. I think they're mostly from Colorado, and then two people from the West Coast, and then one person from um, Hawaii. So yeah, this is a good one. A lot of people, a lot of time zones. So I appreciate
Mm-hmm.
everybody tuning in on this Sunday afternoon or evening, wherever you're at, for sure. All right. Let's see. Christoph, while I have you here, anything new with you? Anything coming up and working on some stuff?
Always working on stuff. I think I said that in the last show that I did here. That was like 8 months ago. No, I'm always working on stuff. Hopefully this year I'll be able to release some more music. Um, I just played a more dance oriented set at a venue called the Black Box in Denver, which was pretty cool. Um, Patched out monthly electronic hardware based dance music party that's put on by Alex Anderson, Nasty Nachos, Alex 106, um, and Love Cosmic Love, Matt Tanner. They put that on every month, and yeah, so I got asked, and I didn't say no, so
That's
that was
hilarious.
that was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
It was a big sound system, so that was the most for me the most interesting piece. Like I didn't know how some of my stuff would translate to that, but wow, that was wild.
That's cool. Yeah.
Like there was like 6 feet of air between my sub bass and the kick. That's what it felt like. It was it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's a cool Denver monthly that happens usually the same week or a week after Freak Boutique.
Right.
And
It's
if
a free event.
yeah, that's free. It's free as well. Another free event that I should remind people is the Freak Boutique show, which is if you're in Colorado, you can set it for that. Every once in a while, I think Alex is able to stream somebody in, so you can always reach out for that. Signups for that are on our website to join the Freak Boutique, and that's hosted by Alex again and WMD, and that's like a kind of an open mic for modular synth stuff. So Patrick, you're talking about traveling, I mean, you got to come here, man. There's like stuff for you to do here.
I could spend a month in Colorado and never
Yeah.
leave. So I'd be
Yeah.
tempted.
Yeah, totally. Seriously. Yeah. If you're traveling this year, you want to come to Colorado, definitely follow us on our website and join our Discord, join the newsletter. There's at least a couple things going on modular wise. We even have a meetup at True Brewery every month and just get together and just chit chat about beers and gear. And yeah, all those things are growing and they're coming back to in person stuff. And of course, we'll always be doing events here every fourth Sunday of the month. We are still doing YouTube stuff. So
Like
next month,
this.
yeah, like this. And next month we'll be doing May Skies, which is the return of our space modular show, space music modular show. And then after that, we'll probably do another challenge. We were talking about doing challenges, and what are the ones that I think that might stick? What might be the like a speed challenge, like doing something
High BPM.
high BPM. I think a lot of folks here would probably be down to do a high BPM 3-minute patch. Uh, I know I can get that. What's the highest BPM you've ever gone for, Patrick?
Boy,
You ever gone
Probably
over 200?
yeah, I've probably done 250, but I didn't really publicize it as such. And I probably used enough dividing clocks to make it like 125.
Yeah,
I got nervous,
30
man. I got
BPM.
nervous.
yeah, yeah. That's good. Yeah,
Yeah.
I usually don't break the 100 BPM mark very often anymore, but it'd be kind of fun to like push it again. The old days, go fast.
Yeah, I did a 150 BPM on a Instagram post about a week ago, and
Yeah, it's a good one.
I think I'm just gonna like increase it by 10 and just see how far I can go.
Well, you don't want to go too fast, and hurt yourself. And now Christoph is doing dance music at dance night, so he's probably used to going.
It was 120 max. I did 100 from 100 to 120. After 30 minutes, I cranked it up to 120 BPM.
Man,
Oof.
with your medical history, I'm surprised.
No, it was borderline.
They had stretchers on the side just in case. Well,
I'm getting old.
Anton says audio rate BPM.
That's
Oh yeah. Now we're talking.
now, yeah, that definitely would be probably over 200.
But
Yeah.
see, the challenge is going to be the minimum BPM has to be high. So no clock dividers and stuff. So you can't divide it down. You gotta have like
you could have to have like I guess one part of it being at that speed, right? No, like I can have 200 BPM, but like I can have maybe my kick is divided.
No, sure.
Yeah, I mean something's got to be clicking other than a hi hat at 200 BPM.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because I think that's where people cheat. They always got a fast hi hat, whatever.
Right.
No. Yeah.
It's been a good meeting.
It's good. Exactly. Excited. Yeah. Well,
Welcome to the planning meeting for the next.
That's right.
Exactly. Hey, well, you know what? People could weigh in on it. I'll tell you, it was open. I had an open forum about it. The council decided. Well, we'll figure that out for sure, and we'll keep everybody up. That's more reasons just to follow us online and stuff like that. Sweet. All right, so we have like 3 more left. So I think we're gonna take all 3 and play them at the same time. No, I'm joking. No, we'll play them the last 3 here, and then say our goodbyes.
Mm-hmm. We have Anton coming up, and he's playing a 46-step microtonal scale. Let me take a breath and
Wait, say that. He's doing a
46-step microtonal scale.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna shake my head like I know what that means.
It's 46 steps per octave. And then he says, but the spacing between each scale degree is irregular.
Okay.
So think about that.
Yeah.
Yes.
How do you? I mean, when your patch plays, Anton, like, let us know how you program that. How'd you get that into the SQ1? Okay.
And then the last 2 is elastic limit with an A flat. Oh my. This is something, an A flat Hirajoshi scale. I have not heard of.
That sounds cool.
And then I'll have my patch with just a simple G major because I just went to the key website you had mentioned, and I just hit it once and said I'm going with it, and it gave me a very simple G major. So that's what I went with.
A lot of people don't know this, but POB used to be in a hip hop band, and that was his rap name, G Major. Used to throw down really, really nasty bars. I don't even know if that's even online anymore. It was so dirty.
With my TR 505.
Yeah.
When I was 16.
MC G Major. He was rough. I mean, it's a different side of him. Let's just say that. It's a different side. Anyhow, okay, cool. Let's get into like the complicated stuff.
Yes. Anton,
here we go. Hey, I just realized you broke the 200 speed limit there.
Oh yeah, that's right. In preparation for the next one.
Patch done. Patch done. Just play that. Play it in reverse. Oh, that was rad. Those are so great.
Yeah, 3 completely different
Yeah.
like sets there.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to absorb Anton's like he said he has like a 20-minute
Version
a
of it.
25-minute version of this on the Earth Modular Society page, so I'm going to check that out for sure. Just trying to absorb all that. It was really cool.
Super cool. That's another great thing. If you're not aware of EMS, do check out that their Discord and their channel for sure. 24/7 modular stuff. So super cool. Yeah, that was super cool. I mean, I'll be honest. Like when I first saw the, I was like all the time, like, oh, I'm probably not gonna. It might be like really too heady for me, but like it actually, uh, it felt more. It felt more. It was more musical than I thought it was gonna be, and that's come. And not to say I'm not into experimental stuff because I definitely am. I just didn't. I just was expecting something else, and it was really cool. So,
The
yeah.
microtonal stuff is really interesting.
Yeah.
When it sounds like it's out of tune, but well, it is in regards to maybe any scale that you would expect, but it's and then it keeps repeating that way. You can get used to that. Your ear can get used to that. It's really interesting. I love that that just breaking out of those bounds of that the usual scale degrees that you have.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play with that more.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting you said you get used to it. I think that's true. I mean, I think that's true for a lot of like for like modular stuff. I feel like I've gotten way more used uh to compositions and sounds that are something I didn't grow up with. Mhm. Yeah, and then the next piece was like super chill. I actually have some notes he sent me about that last piece.
Oh,
It's
Elastic
like
Limit.
the elastic limits piece. So he's primarily using the Mother 32 in the subharmonicon manually tuned and programmed to AB Hirojoshi scale that's being generated by the AUV3 random looping generative MIDI plugin called ShiftBug. So he has a bunch of notes here. I'll have him like drop it in the comments. But so he's using a mixture of those semi modulars and then some apps on his like iPad. I'm like, what are those things called? Um, yeah. So he's doing the combination of like MIDI's and gates and clock tracking. But interesting. Like another like thing I want to know is like semi modular also is like can also be inserted into these challenges as well. And it's pretty in a pretty interesting way. of getting into modular for sure, and then using those, talking about different ways of getting into adding scales and stuff, sequences on computers and laptops and phones and stuff is so out there. It's pretty cool stuff to see mixed and match. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then Patrick, let's talk about yours for a minute. That was crazy. Yeah, I love it. So cool. All right, so are you? So that was the what's that module on the left? I've seen it 1,000 times.
The Octone from
Octone.
Qubit. Yeah, so I just set that up as a G major scale
mhm.
and played it. I play it like a keyboard, and to kind of move things around. And then it has I'll just automatically resetting it to kind of have the root note fall on the beat, and then just also to do a da 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 da, just to, because I have eight to go around, and so it just gave me an extra like 8 beats if I just kind of toggle the reset off and on.
Super playable.
Yeah, then there's a really cool thing on the chord where you input an external signal, which was just in itself, I was looping it itself, and it just created this really nasty, noisy distortion.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Felt really cool when I started turning it on. And like, then it just went noise for a while. But then I would take I'd take out the cable, and it would go back to the beautiful sound, and stick it back in. It would just be kind of a noise wash again. So yeah, it was really fun to do that. I didn't really use the chord for chords. I used it mostly I was just doing some sieving with the different waveforms within, whatever the sound was.
Yeah.
Yeah, wavetable oscillators are great.
Oh yeah, that's all I have in my rack.
And it's one of the things with chord, you can load in so much. It has a hard drive, like a little floppy disk or a little SD card on the front, and you can put all sorts of different things in there. I just never really explored like doing something else, but there's a card there to do so much more than just what it comes with out of the box. So I want to look into that a lot more, because there's so many more things I could be doing with it.
Yeah. Wavetable stuff. State of wavetables is pretty awesome. User wavetables are, next level. Pretty cool to be able to build your own. Lots of cool apps. I know like Synthesis Technologies. He has one. That I think I don't know if I think he's
Wave Edit.
Wave Edit, yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, that stuff's cool. Huge fan of that. And interesting enough, I know there's some wavetables that say like they're like made, the harmonics are already like built in with some of these keys and chords sometimes. I don't know if you've seen some of that and some of the description of those. It's kind of interesting. Why not, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty cool stuff. Yeah, that was cool. I didn't know there was an external input into the chords to do that distortion thing. That's pretty fresh. Yeah,
it was fun. I'd never used it before. I'm like, it's patched into itself. I took the mix from the chord, because I did those at the individual outs. I just did the mix of the chord back into itself and created a really cool noise effect.
That's cool. That's cool. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, and I was, big fan of small boxes and little gear, little cases. So, yeah. So if you're watching, you don't need a ton of stuff to make noise and sound. You don't need a ton. I say that with a bunch of stuff behind me. Don't look at it. That's awesome. Yeah. Well, thanks everybody for watching so much. This has been a really cool show. There's still lots of stuff going on. In the modular world, including Modular World, which I was going to mention. I should say that show I think is on the. Oh my gosh, I think it's the 14th. Let me get that right. I'm gonna give Jono. The May 14th to 15th is probably the next big event. Next month. And so I think there's 140 people playing that show. That's over at Modular World. I know I have a set coming up for that. Christoph is making one for that.
Yep.
I don't know.
Same here.
You're doing okay. So you're see our faces or our hands uh, and that
Yeah, no
Our
faces.
hands on our faces.
hands on the faces. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know. Maybe I'll do Stephanie's things and just like have the little my hands just
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
cool. Yeah. Don't know what key I'll be in. To be honest, kids, I don't know. I don't know.
96 scale.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta like
Yeah.
feel like
You gotta outdo Anton. You
has
gotta
to
gotta
go.
have more.
I mean, let's be honest. Like,
More is better.
yeah, whatever he does, I try to do it. Yeah, yeah, I get that guy. For sure. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, 140 people for 2 days on May 14th and May 15th. That would be cool. Mace guys will be coming up. Then, if you're local, the Freak Boutique stuff and Patched Out will be here in
Patched Out.
Colorado. And I feel like there's other stuff going on. I played Peaked last. In fact, they had their anniversary show yesterday over at Mission Synths in San Francisco, and so shout out to them. They had their anniversary show. They do a monthly show. We mentioned EMS is also out there. My apologies if I'm forgetting other shows right now, but yeah, there's other stuff out there. Be sure to join any of our
Rocky
listeners.
Mountain Synth meetup.
Oh yeah, when's that?
Mark's doing that. There is one coming up, and there's another one.
Mhm.
I think May is May Drone Day.
Oh, I just totally forgot about that.
Yeah, May I think is end of May is Drone Day, so there's something special with the
Oh,
Drone Day. There's gonna be a Drone Day show.
there is a
So for
drone
the
day.
local
Every
people.
year we forget to do something for that. Oh, I don't know if I could pull anything off, but it'd be fun. I do love drones. Don't forget, yeah, the Drones for Peace album 2 will be dropping pretty soon too. If you have not listened to that first album, oh my gosh, it's just it's
Great.
oh I don't know what to say. You just gotta listen to it and feel it. It's probably the most beautiful compilation of drones I've ever listened to. It's pretty dope. Um, cool, yeah, and then yeah, Modular on the Mall. That's coming up too. And so let us know if there's something else going on. Join the group, hang out with us, tell us what's going on if you're doing stuff locally or in your neck of the woods, or if you need help getting stuff to get going, let us know. And then share with us all your music and ideas and questions. Thanks, guys, for joining and being co hosts with me. It's so much easier. Good to see both your faces for sure.
Same
Thank
here.
you,
Yeah.
David.
Great seeing you
Great
both.
to see you, Patrick.
Yeah, cool. Thanks everybody for sure tuning in. You guys are amazing. You mean so much to the scene. All right. Have a good rest of the afternoon. We'll talk soon. All right. Thanks everybody. Take care. Peace.
Bye.